Hello everyone, this is Imri and I'm here with a special weekend update in Bitcoin. The reason I'm making this video is because Bitcoin has broken below $20,000 and has done so quite decisively. And I just wanted to reassure everyone that's feeling panicked that this is par for the course for the flagship cryptocurrency. There's plenty of historical precedents for this, as I'm about to show you. So this is no different. This is no different, right? Everyone wants to say that this time it's different. Well, let me walk you through the past historical examples so that you can come to your own conclusions on that. So the first major decline that we saw was when Bitcoin topped out in December of 2017. This was known as crypto winter, and we had a decline of over 84%. The next major decline took place when Bitcoin topped out in June 2019 and bottomed in March of 2020. That was a decline of 72%. So in that context, the current decline as of right now from the November 2021 high is 73%. So we're right in the ballpark of the major declines that we've seen in Bitcoin in the past. If there is anything that's at all different, I think it's that Bitcoin may have completed a larger degree market cycle, which is why I have this large bold wave 1 in parentheses here. And which is why I believe we're completing a larger degree wave 2. The only difference that makes is that as a market nears the end of a major market cycle, that market starts to catch on in terms of popularity. All right, and we can definitely say that cryptocurrency has broken into the mainstream. All right, it's become a pop culture fixture. There have been memes about it. It's been memed to death. Tesla, one of the world's largest companies, started to accept payment in Bitcoin a while back. So, you know, it's practically jump the shark if you understand that TV reference. So what that means is that Bitcoin has become so popular, and being long Bitcoin became such a crowded trade. So what we're seeing now is what happens when a market reaches an inflection point of extreme optimism. It starts to oscillate towards the other extreme, which is pessimism, fear, and greed, two sides of the same coin. So as investors became greedy and greedy and greedy, they also started to become more fearful. Right? You can only be greedy for so long, and then that fear starts to settle in. What if Bitcoin can't go any higher? What if it's actually going to pull back quite sharply? I should make my money while I can and get out. And then that starts to send, that creates a chain reaction event as other people start feeling fearful. When once upon a time they were actually feeling quite greedy. And that's what's happening right now. So we need to see what I call a capitulation bottom, which is when it seems like there is no hope left in the world, when there's nothing but despair and blood in the streets, which ironically tends to be the best time to buy a market. All right, so that's the historical precedence for these kinds of declines of this magnitude. And as you saw, we're right in the ballpark. We're right in the ballpark of what each of those prior major declines look like. So now we're going to take a look at some intraday timeframes and try to come up with some price targets for where this current decline is going to end. Actually, before I do that, let's hop back to the daily chart. So the pattern that we're dealing with right now is known as a zigzag. It is a three-wave pattern made up of its own components, its own individual components. Each leg labeled A here, B here, and C down here will each have its own individual components. So wave A will be a 5-wave decline, labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wave B will be its own 3-wave rally, which I've labeled A, B, and C in parentheses. And then wave C will be its own 5-wave decline. Now what's very interesting is, as you can see by my labels, I believe we're in that 5th and final wave of this C wave, which means we're very late in the game for this Bitcoin sell-off. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that this 5th and final wave in Bitcoin will also be made up of its own individual 5 waves, which I've labeled here. We have a wave 1 down, we have a wave 2 rally, we have a wave 3 decline, wave 4 took the shape of a sideways triangle, and we're now unfolding lower in wave 5. So all that's left is to come up with a high probability target area for this 5th and final wave. And one of the relationships that seems to occur very frequently between waves 5 and 1 is that they tend towards equality. Wave 3 tends to be the longest wave, and wave 5 and 1 tend towards equality. So that equality measurement, where wave 5 would equal wave 1, comes in at $18,168.21, which is right at the top of this box. Right? The reason the box is a little bit wider is to account for some other popular relationships that exist between wave 5 and 1, and that's where wave 5 can be as much as 123.6% the length of wave 1, or 138.2% times the length of wave 1, or even 161.8% times the length of wave 1. Those are the next most common objectives, which is why I've drawn the box the way I have. So what we're looking for is for Bitcoin to now trade into this next target area, which doesn't mean it's going to bottom. It just means it's a high probability area where we're going to be on the lookout for a bottom. Once the market reaches this area, we need evidence that the market is going to break higher and stage a reversal in trend. All right. So we're going to have to wait patiently for Bitcoin to now trade slightly below 18,000, in my opinion, before we can start looking out for a bottom. Technically, this market is extremely oversold, and we're seeing very sharp bullish divergences in the relative strength indicator. So technically, what this means is that the sell-off is losing momentum the same way it's losing momentum in the S&P 500. So I hope this video gives you a bit of reassurance. I'm personally very excited by the opportunities that this decline is offering us, and I'm very interested to see if Bitcoin can stage a reversal from just a few $100s below where we are now. So thank you, everyone. And I look forward to speaking with you on Monday when the markets open up again. Take care. Have a relaxing weekend. Stay away from the charts. All right. You can't control the price of Bitcoin. So looking at the price chart is not going to help your mental state. All right. It's best to have these high probability target areas on the price chart, be aware of them, but do not stay glued in front of the screen. I'm going to be enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm going to be taking my mind off the markets, and I'm going to come back to these price charts on Monday refreshed and re-energized. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Take care.